Hey guys, today we're checking out the ATN PS22 night vision scope. Let's take a look at what you get in the box. Actually, some of this stuff does not come with it. For example, I got an additional IR illuminator that I cut a spot for. I made an extra spot for another battery, and the rest of it does come with it. Obviously, you have the night vision scope right there. Remote switch if you care to use it. It does come with its own IR illuminator. And a bunch of hardware to connect it to your rifle or scope, depending on what your configuration is, and we'll get into that in a minute. And then there's also this bag of hardware that we're going to use to attach it, again, depending on the configuration. All right, first of all, there's a few different versions of this. There's Gen 2, Gen 3, different versions of Gen 2 and Gen 3. This one is their CGT version, or they call it Gen 2 Plus. I'm not really going to get into the specs because, they all fit into the same form factor, and depending on which one you get, it will be higher quality, lower quality, really depends, and more expensive or less expensive. The only spec that's important to me at this point is that it weighs 1.4 pounds, and it's going to add some weight, obviously, to your setup. Anyway, if you want to take a look at the specs, here's what it is. Hit pause if you want. This is from their website as of December 2013. All right. First, I want to take a look at how I connected this to a couple of different rifles. First, let's take a look at a PS90 with an EOTech XPS 2-2 holographic sight. You can see that was a Picatinny attachment. Here's another example. It's on a DPMS LR308, and the optic on that one is a Leupold VX3L 6.5 to 20 power by 56 millimeter scope, and you can see how that one's attached. Another way that you can do it is you can hang it right off of the optic. So here's another example. It's mounted on a Tavor with the optic that is a Leupold Mark IV MRT 1.5 to 5 power by 20 millimeter. And you can see what that looks like. You can actually get as intricate as you want. They've got some crazy things that let you set this up on pretty much any rifle, like this, for example. I didn't buy all this extra hardware, and yeah, you do need extra hardware to do this, but ATN does sell it. So let's get an idea of what it looks like or how you would attach it to a rifle. So first, we need, obviously, the night vision scope. And here's the hardware that I was talking about that we'll need. This is an attachment that you can put right on there that goes to a Picatinny rail. We're not going to use that for this. We're going to need a couple of screws and an additional rail. We'll see why we're going to use that. We're going to put it on this Ruger 1022. All right, that's really half of a Ruger 1022, but I want to keep it in frame. And the other thing we're going to need is this, which they actually have 6 different mounting kits that are for different size objective lenses. And for this one, I had to buy the mounting kit solution that is, I think it's 44 to 50 millimeter lenses. And the way that they do that is you have these different inserts. And you can see that, it shows you the size that it will fit on. But we don't need all of these. What we need is this one. That slips on there. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, I am just going to put this on here because we need to mount an IR illuminator in case it's not light enough or not enough ambient light from the moon. And the 1022 does not have an extra Picatinny rail to mount the IR illuminator on. So we're going to mount it right onto there. Okay, next, you have a protective cover that covers the lens. And then the adapter screws right onto the scope. And then we take this, put it up on that, and tighten down the screw. Now we can take an IR illuminator and mount it on this rail that I just screwed down. Did I get it? Yeah. Well, no, not quite, but you get the idea. Something that a face that only a mother could love. Now that it's mounted, let's go take a look at what this thing looks like. What you don't see in this picture is a target. That's because we are in a completely dark room. There is zero light. So let's take a look with a white light. Here's the target. We're going to turn the light off now, and we're going to take a look at it through the Leupold MRT with the ATN PS22 night vision scope in front of it. First, we have to turn on an IR light because, as I said, there's nothing here in the way of light, and there you go. Now, this reticle is also an illuminated reticle, and as you will see, it works just fine with the night vision scope. That's a little too bright. Let me turn it down. Oop, turning it up. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, using an IR light and an illuminated reticle, this thing really does turn night into day. This is the view through the Nikon P22 reticle. We are using an IR light on low because there's not a lot of light out here. Now I'm going to walk in front and show you what it looks like in front of that target.